Hello and welcome to my channel, In Search of Wonder. My name is Anne and today we're going to take a little trip to New York. For spring break, our family went on a vacation to New York. We went into the city for a couple of days and did some of the basic iconic things that you need to do for your first time in New York City. It was not my first time in New York City, but it was my children's first time, so I wanted to make sure they saw the highlights. And then we also went to a few fun things outside of the city, some lesser known things, and we just, all in all, had a fantastic time. So I'm going to take you along with me and show you all the places that we went. Let's go to New York. We started our adventure in Legoland in Goshen, New York, which was for the benefit of my husband and younger son, who are both huge Lego fans. And of course, had to get some coffee there. It was crazy expensive, but it wasn't terrible. And they had all of these structures made with Lego all around the whole amusement park, which was fun to see. And of course, plenty of gift stores. Our favorite part was the Miniland, which is a 1/20 model scale Lego version of major US cities. And it was so fun. The cities that we have been to, I have been to all of them, I think, that were depicted. My family had not, but it was fun to find the famous landmarks and to look at how they had been built in Lego. Plus, they had little Easter eggs hidden because this was the week before Easter, of course. So all throughout the display, they had hidden Easter eggs, which you can see a couple of them here in that scene. So it was so fun to see all of the different cities represented and the famous buildings. And they had those, some, mechanical moving pieces as well. This was as close as I got to the Brooklyn Public Library. Look, all the detail. Then this marching band, so cool. As you can see, the kids love that kind of thing. But, I mean, I loved it too. I thought it was a lot of fun. So, of course, this is DC now, in Lego form. We've got the Washington Monument, Smithsonian's, the mall, the memorials, even the cherry blossoms. And Mount Rushmore. I didn't get a good clip of them singing, but they sang they sang some silly song. I can't even remember what it is now, but it was fun. And look what I found, a little free library. This was in the Conseco Dam Plaza, which is in Valhalla, New York, the same place where the Conseco Cemetery is, where Sergei Rachmaninoff was laid to rest, and also many other notable people. There are quite a few famous people buried, including Lou Gehrig, in that cemetery. This was my kids' favorite part of this whole vacation. We hiked up these stairs. This is on the side of the dam there in Valhalla. And you can hike up to the top and walk across the top of the dam. I found it interesting that these columns here were topped with phrases from the book of Psalms about how God controls the weather. I thought that was very cool. It was a gorgeous view there once you get to the top of the dam. And there were a lot of people there walking and jogging. At the bottom of the dam, they had this memorial to 9/11. And to all of the volunteers from that area of New York, Westchester County, who died serving and rescuing during that event. Of course, you can't go to New York City without going to Central Park. And it was a beautiful day to be in Central Park with the trees blooming. Say hello to William Shakespeare and Walter Scott and Robert Burns and Beethoven. So many people out and enjoying the gorgeous weather along with us. And finally, I was able to visit the Metropolitan Museum of Art, which I have been trying to do for the past couple of years on various day trips to New York City, but it hasn't worked out. So finally, we made it happen. And we discovered that the best deal for our family was to get an annual membership. So I'm hoping to go back there maybe this summer or at some point between now and next spring, and maybe even go to the cloisters in northern New York City. Look at these fierce guys and their gong. This was an exhibit of musical instruments from around the world and historic instruments like this gorgeous harpsichord here. They had so many unique types of keyboard instruments, which I found fascinating, being a keyboardist myself, including this, the oldest known piano by the original inventor of the pianoforte, Cristofori. I had a moment here. This was very special to me. Due to it being part of the location where Home Alone in New York was filmed, my boys wanted to see the Plaza Hotel, so we went into the entrance in which we were permitted to go, being the poor plebeians that we are. Also on this trip, I was able to visit Argosy, which is a bookstore, obviously, in New York City. And this is my favorite type of bookstore. I loved all of the used books they had. I loved the cozy feeling of it. The crammed shelves, but it wasn't overall like a cluttered, dirty feeling. It was just cozy and eclectic and fun to browse, and they had all of these beautiful old editions as well. And I wanted my children to experience the iconic Empire State Building, so we had a great time going up there. But can I tell you, it was so windy. On our way out of the city and back to our Airbnb for the night, we walked through Bryant Park and the New York Public Library on our way to Grand Central Station. And these are two of my favorite places in New York City, although we just had to content ourselves with walking through and walking by this time because we just did not have time. But I love Bryant Park. I love the place to gather with community, to read, to play games, to enjoy a snack or some beverage. And the New York Public Library is one of my favorite library buildings. If you ever have a chance to go inside, it's absolutely beautiful. So is the Grand Central Station, which is fun to go even if you don't need to catch a train. It's just beautiful architecture. Look at that ceiling. And right after this, we realized that we needed to run to catch our train, which we managed to do. And of course, we must go and see the Statue of Liberty. Such an inspiring visit. We also went to Ellis Island, but I did not take any video there. I loved how these daffodils looked like they're dancing. We wrapped up our time in the city with a Yankees game, and it was so fun to experience the traditions that New Yorkers hold dear when they go to a Yankees game. Loved it. first day and a half of vacation were spent outside the city and were a much more relaxed pace. This was Sleepy Hollow, home of Washington Irving and the setting of some of his stories. And this was a cute little bookshop there, I should say. Cute little children's section there. And young adult. Lots of options for the discerning reader. Books for adults as well. And then they had a whole selection of books featuring Sleepy Hollow and Washington Irving's books. And of course, you know me, I had to go to a coffee shop. We went to many coffee shops on this trip, but I didn't get video footage of all of them. But this was a fun one where they roasted their own coffee. In the town adjacent to Sleepy Hollow, Terrytown, there is a bookshop called Transom Bookshop, and it was a fun one too. It was all new books and mostly for adults. I found those beautiful editions there. They caught my eye. I love those. They had some children's books and other fun things in the back. The Calvin and Hobbes books caught my son's eye. Our last morning, we had a delicious breakfast at this little restaurant called Melly Mellow, I think. And they had French food like crepes. It was delicious. And appropriately, our final stop on the trip was to this bookstore in Greenwich, Connecticut, where we stayed. That's where our Airbnb was. And this bookshop had so much personality. I loved it. All of these books were obviously carefully chosen and curated by the bookshop owners, and the walls were decorated with these black Sharpie drawings all over by people visiting. I'm assuming some of these names I should maybe recognize, but I don't. I'm not sure if all of them are just regular customers or famous personalities, but anyway, what a fun way to end our trip. So I hope you enjoyed our little trip to New York and the city, and let me know in the comments below if you've been to any of those places, any other places you recommend in New York City or New York State, anywhere in the area, places you've gone. And I look forward to chatting with you about our little trip in the comments, and I will see you next time. Bye!